She's like friend zoning him all the time. Hello, this is gonna be a reading vlog. Reading the Hunger Games series. I'm through with part 1 right now. I'm on page 142. My gosh, I'm so tired today. I have to say I've never read the Hunger Games before and I've watched the movies, but as of now I feel like this is a series that I'm definitely gonna be able to read in one sitting. I mean, I'm so far already. I feel like they are giving us a lot more information than in the movies, obviously. Not only the trilogy, right? She came out with a new book this year, I think. About the snow guy, it was, I believe. So I'm gonna continue reading this now. Peeta called her sweetheart for the first time here. I'm like, already love him. Just saying. Oh, it's like a slap in the face. Never mind. The next day right now and I'm about halfway through. I'm right now at the scene where the Hunger Games already started and she's running through the forest right now, and I feel like right now it's becoming more and more cohesive with the movie, but I still feel like they left out quite a few important things. For example, I don't think they showed the mayor's daughter in the movie, right? And she gave her like this little amulet, so I feel like it's actually quite important that we would have that character in the movie. Peeta is quite an asshole right now. I don't know what is going on. I don't remember why he did what he did. I mean, probably it's to save her, right? Like, I like him so far, but I also feel like we could get a bit more Peeta time. But on the other hand, she cannot trust him because they're like in the game. So I also understand, but I want to see a bit more of Peeta, you know? I don't know, but I really like it. I like the way it's written. It's very easy to read. It's very fast paced. So far, it's really good. I just came back from dinner with friends. It was a longer day than expected, but I was just behind schedule a bit. But now it's reading time. Had 1.5 Dr. Pepper, so the energy is still pretty high even though it's already... What time is it? Even though it's already 10:22. I'm gonna keep on reading now and I'm gonna update you, of course. It's so weird because again it's something that they didn't even discuss in the movies, because she got stung by these tracker bees or something, whatever they're called, and now she's like having her nightmares. I think they showed hallucinations in the movie, but now it's like, how many ways do I watch Prim die, relive my father's last moments, feel my own body ripped apart? This is the nature of the tracker jacker venom. They never showed the father in the movie, right? They never really addressed what happened to him either. But my memory is also really bad with this, but I feel like they left out a few very important parts. Maybe I should re-watch the movies again after I read this series. That might be a good idea. Is it just me, or is Tracker Jacker actually a very weird name? She literally... Okay, I'm on page 196 right now, and she literally was thinking of Gale and how he wanted to run off with her and escape and like live in the woods together, right? Like, which was really cute, I think, because I mean, I'm not shipping necessarily Gale, but I feel like he was a good guy. Like, he did not deserve what is happening. And then immediately she's like, and suddenly I'm not thinking of Gale but of Peeta, and Peeta, he saved my life. I'm like, Peeta just killed someone, you bitch. Let's say this, I think I like Peter. I think I like him, but I still need to see more of him in order to really know if I love him or not. Well, that I love him, yeah, that she loves him. To say he saved my life, but then on the other hand, he was the one that we just saw in a previous dialogue that he was killing the other woman. What type of game is he playing, you know? What is his objective? My bookmark just fell down. Amazing. I find it very impressive how the author is describing the entire thing of like survival and stuff. You cannot tell me she's never done a survival thing or something, because this is so detailed and she knows what to do. She knows where to get her water from. She knows at what point the body is so dehydrated and what the effects of it are. Of course, like, you have to do your research as an author, but I feel like the way she described all of this, to me it seems like I am in that situation right now and it gives me anxiety, but also I'm very hooked. Maybe some parts of it didn't age so well, but I also see what type of masterpiece it was back then, because it was really innovative. I think it was like one of the first few of its kind, sort of like Twilight. It's just an iconic thing, right? I think it's so sad what's gonna happen to Rue. I already know it, and every time I see that scene it breaks my heart. I hate reading about her because now it feels even more like I'm building a connection to her, you know? It sucks. But it is an important part to the story, so... They just said, if in fact Peeta did save me, I'm in his debt again, and this can't be paid back. And then she said, if he did, it was all probably just part of his act, you know, to make people think he's in love with me. And then Rue's like, oh, I didn't think there was an act. Well, because it wasn't, technically, but technically also it was. I don't know. But how Katniss is not believing it, I understand that, but kinda cute. Okay, little update. I continued reading the book last night, and I am at page... oh my gosh. And I'm on page 276 right now. So I have actually not a lot of pages left anymore. She finally found Peter again, which it was time that they got reunited. It seems like he's dying though, so we all know he's not gonna die. I mean, right? But like still, I forgot how they resolved the problem. Okay, so the conflict they're having right now is that the game makers gave them the opportunity to get what they need, but then they all have to gather at the same place, obviously, because everyone needs something from the tributes that are still left. There's like the game maker's plan to spice things up a little bit. Peeta is like, no, you don't go, not for me. And she's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna go. Of course she's gonna go, dumbass, if you're gonna die otherwise. But also kind of cute that he's like protective of her. So obviously he's already into her, like I can tell by now. They've been kissing a lot. And I feel like still from her side it seems like she's faking, but there's also a slight part of her that wants it. Okay, she obviously doesn't trust him. Still, at least that's what it feels like, you know? Right now, they received something from the sponsors, but it's sleep medicine. Not helpful, but okay. Oh, maybe it is helpful because she needs a day to get the medicine. Yeah, okay. You can just talk. Like, you don't have to knock him out. What if someone gets him while he's asleep? He could not even in any way, shape or form defend himself. Even as he fades away, I can see in his eyes that what I've done is unforgivable. Yeah, trust, you know. Now she's thinking about Gale. What? She's like, Gale's not my boyfriend, but would he be if I opened that door? He talked about us running away together. Was that just a practical calculation of our chances of survival away from the district? Or something more? Yeah, obviously it's something more. I wonder what he makes of all this kissing. I don't think he's gonna like that, but the question is, does she like it? Like, she just thinks about everything outside of the games so much. Of course she loves those people, but like she's thinking about Gale, even though she's doing this right now to survive. I just came back from Target and I got some goodies. Was it a necessary expense? Not really. No, it was. For this video it was. Yeah, it was a necessary expense because I got the other two books of the series. I mean, I'm only halfway through the first one, but I feel like I want to finish it. I really want to read it this weekend. It was on my goal list. I mean, putting this on your goals for the weekend is maybe not the best thing to ever do, but okay, I want to finish it this week. I just feel good about this purchase. I'm really intrigued. Now it starts to rain. I hope you probably can hear it. Gonna be an ASMR moment now. I told you in the beginning that there are 4 books in the series, right? So there's like the spin-off thing about snow. I initially wanted to read it. I was also wrong. It didn't come out this year. It came out 3 years ago. I don't know how I missed that. But okay, I never read the first series anyway, so the writing is awesome, so maybe I'm gonna like it. But then I looked at the Goodreads reviews and they were drastically worse than any other review about the other parts of the series. And everyone was like, it's so boring, dreading, and he's really not a nice character. It's really boring now, huh? So I was like, not so intrigued anymore, to be honest. And it was more expensive than the other books, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it actually. I'm sorry to let you guys down, but for now I'm just gonna finish the trilogy. That's the goal for this vlog, and maybe I'm gonna continue with the 4th book. It's a thought process I have to go through right now, and I don't know yet.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you.
I wanted to read more today, but I was literally working all day in front of my laptop. At least there's a video coming up tomorrow. I'm gonna continue reading now because I really want to, and I want to finish the 1st book at least. I mean, I have this much left, so I'm definitely gonna be able to finish that book today, and I hope I can start on the other one as well.
Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when.
She just asked him why he got the bread for her back then when they were kids, and he was like, why? You know why? And then he says, Hamish said you would take a lot of convincing, because it's never been an act in the first place. Like, he doesn't say it, that it wasn't an act, but reading between the lines and stuff. They just kissed again, which is not a surprise, right? Like, they've kissed before, but now she says, this is the first kiss that makes me want another. And she said she doesn't want him to die, so we're getting somewhere. Okay, why am I so excited? I'm like giggly. I love them. I don't know why. They're literally in the Hunger Games, and I'm just thinking about their romance. Hope. And beyond that, he will always be the boy with the bread. What title is that? For her, he's just the boy with the bread now. She's like friend-zoning him all the time. But I think she's just really unsure about expressing emotions. I guess that's just the thing. And now she thinks of Gale again. What is going on? So I finished book 1. I'm so tired right now. I think I just really have to sleep and get some rest, and then I can read more tomorrow again. I am about to start the 2nd book of the series. I also want to get rid of these stickers. They're annoying me. Wait, I cannot even get them off. Why is it so difficult? Yay. I remember what happens in the 2nd movie. So they're going into the Hunger Games again. It sucks. And now that I've been through the emotions with the character in the book, I'm a bit scared because I don't want to go through this again. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse than the first one, because the first one was a really good start. I just want to see more of Peeta. Okay, so as of right now, the vibe between her and Gale is not as good anymore, which I'm sorry for. I mean, clearly he has more feelings for her and she feels something too, so maybe it's better that they have distance. I don't know what to think of that. I just noticed that she's very upset about this, obviously. They're struggling, but she's also struggling with Peeta, so the love triangle is not looking good right now. Good morning. Another day, another chapter of Catching Fire. I made it to page 56 last night, and I feel like the story is slowly evolving. Right now, as I already thought, it is more about politics and like how she basically screwed up by going against the Capitol. So it's pretty similar to the movies, but we do get a bit more of the background stories. We had the scene where Gale kissed her. It was okay. I didn't really get the feeling, I didn't get the vibes. I was like, okay, even if I wouldn't know the story, I would feel like she still likes him, but I don't think it's gonna go somewhere, just because their relationship was like this before and then it went like this and now they're just stagnating, you know, like there's nothing happening. The fact that he even kissed her, even though they're in this difficult situation, I'm like, think of it. And I feel like Peeta is just really trying to still keep it up and to still keep her safe, and she's just not seeing that. How much is there actually love then if she is so unsure about him? He's just getting run over all the time. And I think I would have actually liked to see Peeta's point of view instead of hers, because I think he's such an interesting character, because he seems like the soft boy. Yeah, he doesn't seem like a fighter as much as Gale does, but I feel like he actually has a lot of strength within him to go through all of this just to keep her safe. That requires a lot, I think. So, and I mean, we got introduced to a bit more of Snow. I was not surprised about that, but still, I just hate him. He's just annoying to me. He's like a disgusting, creepy old man. You know, I don't like him. That's not surprising to anyone, I guess. Another day, another reading and bed scene. What else? I'm still on page 56. I didn't manage to read before that today, so evening reading it is now. I'm on page 100 now, and first they wanted to run away together. Then he says he loves her. Gale now, I'm talking about Gale right now, not Peeta. And now he wants to fight against the capital. Like, make up your mind. And he's so jealous. Man, she's getting on my nerves. She doesn't know what she wants. Like, she doesn't know if she wants Peeta, she doesn't know if she wants Gale. She just wants both of them. Best of both worlds. I need a break from this. I don't think they ever covered that year 50, so the second quartile was the year Haymitch won. I feel like that's such important information. I knew that it would happen, that she would go back into the arena. I don't want it, you know, I really don't want this to happen. I feel so bad for her. Like, she's already traumatized. Give her a break. It's also so shit. They won. All of them won. And now they have to go again. What bullshit is that? Like, they started having a life again. And now, so mad right now. I mean, I knew this would happen, but the more I think about it, the more it makes me mad. Give her a break. Oh my gosh. Okay, but why is Peeta so cute? Peeta's argument is that since I chose you, I now owe him anything he wants, and what he wants is to go in again and to protect you. How can he be so cute? I cannot. Not gonna lie, it's been a while. I've been reading every single day, and I am this far through the book, so probably like 2/3. I'm actually also at part 3 right now. Right now they're in the arena. Obviously Peter wanted to go with her instead of Haymitch, so he was volunteering. Yeah, makes sense, but also if you want a future with her, just logically, because it was Haymitch's name that got pulled, Peeta volunteered. So I'm like, okay, imagine, just imagine, Haymitch would die and she would come back, she would win. Again, which is pretty unlikely, but just imagine she would win. Then you would have a future. But then you're giving her up as well, because you're just like, okay, she might not come back, so now he has a chance to protect her, so I understand that part. He's hella attached, and I love it. I feel like his emotions are coming across very well, even though we cannot see it from his perspective. But her emotions, even though it's from her perspective, I have troubles understanding at times. She's often switching her mind between Gale and Peeta, and now suddenly she's just like, nothing matters anymore, I just want to protect him. And I don't know if she wants to protect Peeta because she feels like she owes him something, or because she really cares for him. Yeah, it just leaves me confused, because I'm like, what are her emotions toward him? I'm not a fan of Gale. I feel like we also get to see too little from him. If they would give us more input on how he is and like what his character is, I think then I might be falling more for Gale, but I think we just get way more backstory for Peeta, so it's pretty clear with whom she's gonna end up with. Analyzing relationships in books is just what I love, and I'm just trying to figure out the politics. I feel like the politics are very intense here. Tension is building up so much in the capital right now, and just how people react to things, and I think that's so interesting and so intriguing to see. I'm really intrigued. Also seeing the games before, Haymitch's games, I feel like it's so cool that we got a backstory of like how he won last time, because actually I think that's gonna play a huge role with the force field towards the end of this book. still there's a lot of mystery going on. It's not pretty clear how the story is gonna evolve, so I think it's very interesting. However, I noticed today it was so weird, and I think I'm just way too involved in this entire scenery right now. But I went to the gym today and I looked at the TVs that were there on the wall. It was like a dancing show and people were like, you know, and then it was like this huge studio and stuff, and I felt like for a second I was like, oh my god, they're also in these fancy dresses and stuff. It's like here when they had their interviews before they have to go to the games. I just got flashbacks from those interviews and I was like, oh my god, we're the capital. I mean, that's the point. It's supposed to criticize us as a society, but I've never had that thought before, and suddenly I was like, oh my god, we're so bad. Like, we do this stuff just for entertainment. What is even the purpose, you know? And I started questioning everything. I think it's good to question things though. Like, I don't think that's bad, but it was just interesting to me that I'm so involved in this world that the author built here, that I'm actually already, while I'm in the gym, start to compare things that are happening on TV to things that are happening in the book. I mean, that shows how much that is taking up my mind right now, and I think that's interesting. Also, I think that's speaking for the book for sure. I'm gonna continue reading now. It was a long talk. Cinna just got beaten up, or like is possibly dead. How sick are they? It's just truly sickening if you think about it. Like, she's about to go into the games again, which is already traumatizing as hell, and then she sees her friend possibly die because of her actions and his actions in front of her while she cannot even do something. And then she just goes up the elevator and she has to fight everyone else. Sick. That one's so quick. They're already allies with Finnick. I mean, because of Haymitch, but okay. Finnick is such a good guy. He did not deserve what happened to him. Really did not. It's sad. Peeta just got hit by the force field, or like he ran into it, which sounds kind of stupid, but no one saw it, and suddenly it was too late and he ran into it, and he was technically dead for a few minutes, and now she's like completely tearing up. It's fun and funny because Finnick was like, oh, it's okay, just her hormones from the baby. And she's like, it's not, knowing that these are not her hormones, but that she really was genuinely worried about him. It's just very cute. And she's warming up toward Peter. You cannot tell me otherwise. I'm just glad he's alive. I mean, what would this book be without Peeta Mellark, huh? I'm on page 307 right now, so I have 70 pages left to go. I've been meaning to make this a reading vlog, but this is just taking longer than I thought. I also noticed I should not read those before I go to bed. So that's why I haven't read that much the past few days. Every time I read it before bed, I had so many weird dreams and like nightmares, sort of. Like, not necessarily nightmares, but just action-packed dreams about death. Okay, it sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, and that was not fun. I'm gonna try not to do that as much anymore. But okay, that's that. I'm just gonna continue reading now, and I'm gonna keep you posted. She just said for a 17-year-old girl, and I literally forgot that she's only 17. It's kind of sick. The way I thought she's more mature, and now she's 17. And she went into the games with 16. And now she's supposed to marry Peeta and allegedly has a child on the way with 17. Why do they want her to marry? The fact that that is legal. How old is Peeta? Are they the same age? My gosh, I'm so confused right now. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna take my sunglasses off. I'm on my way to the beach right now because I want to read at the beach. I just want to relax and have like a different environment. And I don't want to film the entire reading vlog in my dorm room. But going by myself scares me a bit, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna do it. That's where I'm heading now, to read at the beach. Just finished Catching Fire. Of course, it is very similar to the movies. I've addressed it so many times already, but I feel like it's way more intense. The emotions are coming across so much more. The betrayal of Haymitch. I mean, he tried to keep her alive, but was it because he likes her as a friend, or was it literally just because for his own benefit? because that's what I'm starting to feel like. Of course everyone is acting in their own self-interest, but like you could still have sympathy for other people, right? And also Gale is just like, Gale is annoying me. I don't know why. I mean, he didn't do anything. We didn't see him much. And the only time we saw him, he got injured. But still, I'm so pissed that we're not going to see much more of Peeta right now. Because Peeta was the best. Everyone who's read the book, the scene where he gave her the pearl, I was melting. I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. Okay, so this right now marks the 3rd week of this reading vlog. It's taking me way too long to get through this series, but okay, I'm gonna start the 3rd book now, Mockingjay, and the final one. I cannot wait. We need to talk. So I started Mockingjay, obviously. Okay, so what is happening right now? I'm on page 100 and they're with District 13 right now. And Katniss and Peeta got split up, which is shit, obviously, because I want to give Peeta a bit more screen time in this book, you know. But I'm so confused why they did not put the scene with her stylists in the movie. That her styling team was being abused, sort of, and held captive by District 13. So basically what's happening right now, the Capitol is manipulating her for their own good, as well as District 13. Right now it's just that back and forth of like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. I don't feel like we're getting a good impression from District 13 right now of how they're handling the revolution, rebellion, whatever. I'm a bit torn because I know what's gonna happen briefly, but I'm like, how is she gonna make all of this work so that Katniss is not in trouble? Because everything is just going to shit right now, and you cannot tell me that that's gonna end positive for anyone. I'm just a bit pissed right now, to be honest. I'm pissed about the Peeta situation. Like, I notice more and more that this really is not about the love triangle here, which is fine. Like, it's totally fine, but it just gives me a lot of thoughts about our current situation, about our current politics. Yeah, it makes me appreciate more what we have. Like that we have water, that we have food, that we have technology to communicate with each other. I mean, that's amazing. But on the other hand, I'm also a bit like feeling guilty for some things. And I'm a bit afraid of what's gonna happen in the future, not gonna lie. So I think that's very important to highlight here. I still like the writing style. I think it's going very smoothly. I'm immediately in the story again. So that's what she does really, really well. I'm not confused by anything. I was never a huge Gale fan at all. He really is not understanding her in any way, I feel like. But I'm gonna continue reading now. I'm quickly filming this from my phone because my camera is doing weird things right now, but I am struggling. I don't know why. I feel like it's still fun to read. Like, look, I'm this far right now. I'm like 1/3 through. It just feels like a lot of politics right now. And I get that. And I feel like the tension is getting higher and higher. But since I know everything that's gonna happen from the movies, I'm getting a bit bored right now. Like, I don't feel the anticipation as much anymore because now I know what's gonna happen in the series, you know? So I just have to get myself back together and actually continue reading. But I don't know where my motivation went, and I don't know, I really want to keep going for the sake of this video, but also after the first book everything got so much slower. I knew that the second book is not my favorite, which that kind of shifted. I really like the second book now, but I do not love the third one so far. And I feel like just the entire tension with everything is just getting so much more intense and heated, you know? But also I'm getting a bit annoyed by everyone. Katniss is also a bit oblivious sometimes. I mean, maybe that's just her coping mechanism, but she's like, oh yeah, apparently everyone is seeing me as a symbol of the revolution. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, of course. Like, why is she surprised that people are gonna take her seriously and that her actions matter? Like, she's still very impulsive. Following scenario, she shot these airplanes from the sky, right, when there was the attack. After that, they punished Peeta for warning them, like warning District 13 about a following attack. And she knew that they punished Peeta. He wouldn't have done that if she wouldn't step out of line as much. So she's trying to save him and she's trying to keep him safe, but she's also not doing a great job at that. Where are your priorities? Okay, it's a war, I know, but still, that's just the reading update. I haven't been reading much the past days. I don't know. been a while since I last updated, but I'm on page 150 right now. If I don't finish a book within a few days, it always lowers the rating, and I've been reading a few things in between now, so that's not that ideal, but it has nothing to do with this series, of course. I just really want to like be in the world again because I really like it. I think it's a really great book. I'm also just glad if it's finished now for some reason. You know, I just really want to put an end to the negativity this entire dystopian world is putting me into at times, if that makes any sense. That they were selling Finnick? What? I don't recall that in the movies they were cutting out the tongues of people that were running away. This book is so much more cruel than the movies. It's insane. Like, I'm literally speechless. I mean, just thinking about what Finnick is going through is just sick. I didn't mean to update, but I'm on page 290 now. Peeta wants them to kill him. He's miserable. He's very miserable. I'm so sorry for him. I'm like, poor boy. Katniss was really not on his side throughout the entire book. Like a little bit. So quick update. I mean, I already said that it's messed up, but they're basically in a third arena, like inside of the Capitol, because there was this black wave thing going on. Everyone thinks that they are dead. So Snow made an announcement on TV saying that everyone is dead, especially the Mockingjay. And now Coin, the other president of the rebellion, is switching in and is saying like, she's still the face of the rebellion. I'm like, it's all just such a chaos over there. I really don't know in which way any of them are better than the others. Because also Gale is just so aggressive all the time that I feel like Gale is just really, he's no better than anyone from the Capitol, because he also wants to kill all these people, right? It's tricky. It's tricky. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this book tonight. It's definitely not much anymore, as you can tell. And then I'm gonna give you a review. A lot of things are happening right now. So Finnick just died, which I knew would happen, but reading it was still not fun. He really deserved better, you know, he really did. And then right after, a page after that, Katniss is kissing Peeta and she's like, stay with me. And he just says, always. How cute. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Relief that they're starting to figure it out, or sadness that Finnick isn't there with them anymore. Difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally did it. I completed the Hunger Games trilogy. Can I get a small applause or something, please? I'm gonna stop being dramatic now, but this took me a while. The books are not very thick. Like, if we look at it, I think one book has maybe 380 pages. But I have some thoughts. This is already such a long video, I already know it. I have like 3 hours of footage just me reading these. Did I love them? Yes and no. I don't know if my reading experience has been corrupted by the fact that I've watched the movies before. Probably, possibly, most likely. I'm gonna start with the first one. Let's talk about Hunger Games. My favorite one of the series. The movie is also my favorite one of the series, but this one was just the most intense one. Was the most fast-paced one as well. So I really liked that one. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. It's not a 5-star read for me. I liked her writing style. It was very, very easy. Very easy to get into, but it's between a 4 and a 4.5. Let's say 4.25. Because I would not say it's necessarily 5 stars, but what she came up with was amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is an amazing world she created. It was an amazing read. It was very entertaining. It made me question a lot of things. I already addressed it in this video before. It really made me think about how we are consuming things and how our society nowadays is working. I don't want to talk a lot about politics in this video. I don't want to make anything here too political on this channel. That's not me. You know, I'm not that type of girl. You can talk about politics with someone else. It's not my thing. So I liked this book. It was a fun read. It was entertaining. It definitely gave me fall vibes. Like, it's a good book to read in the fall. So let's talk about the second one, which is possibly... No. I think, it is a shame, but I feel like the third one is even the least favorite out of the series for me, personally. So let's talk about Catching Fire first. I liked Catching Fire, and at least we saw a little bit more of Peeta, because I mean I'm a Peeta fangirl. So for me overall there was a little bit of romance sometimes missing. Like I just love fantasy or dystopian stories with a lot of romance. That's just my favorite personal style. I love my romance. I love my romance in fantasy. So this entire series is not very romance heavy. It is a subplot, but it's not the main plot, which I understand. Like I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm only rooting for Peeta, but like I felt like we got in the entire series a lot more insights about why Katniss does what she does and why she acts like she does, and I feel like that was amazing. No, I was really rooting for her, and I was really feeling connected to her as a person, because I was like, it's just shit what they're going through, like it's really mentally damaging. So this entire book series is really talking about mental struggles, and I think it's really addressed in a good way. Here comes the but though. It was picking up pretty slowly. They were like on their tour and stuff and were going around the country, and then suddenly we were getting the vibe of like, oh, they have to do the Hunger Games again. Suddenly the relationship with Peeta was like strengthening, which I really liked. So this was not a bad book, but it was not as good as the first one, I would say. I don't know, I feel like I would just give this a straight 4 or a 3.75. More 4. It is a 4-star read. This entire series is really good. It's just not my favorite. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is the best book I've ever read in my life. It is a good read. As I said, the language is very easy to understand. So also if English is not your native language, you will get into these very quickly and very easily, because the author just really writes everything in a very flowing and good way. Like it's just very easily digestible and understandable. But now we come to the last book, and Mockingjay I had such high hopes for, to be honest. Maybe it was because I read this entire series over such a long period of time. I really wanted to read it in one sitting, but I couldn't. Like I sometimes got so bored of this world that they created, because it was just always going in circles, and we always got Katniss's inner monologue, which I understand, but it was sometimes just too dragged out for me for the fact that it's actually not that long of a book. This was so slow. It was such a slow read. For reference, if you've watched the movies, the Mockingjay Part 1 was 2/3 of this entire book, and Mockingjay Part 2, where it's actually stuff happening, was the last third of this book. So the first 2/3 of this book were only about politics and negotiations, and then Peeta came back, but Peeta was completely crazy and everything was just weird, and I hated Gale at this point. I was just annoyed by everyone. Like everyone in this book was annoying me. I didn't like Haymitch anymore. I still don't like Haymitch. I don't know, in the movies I liked Haymitch, but in the books he's a bit annoying to me. I don't know. This was not it. I'm sorry. But like if you put an entire ending of a 3-part series into the last third of the book, and the action is just coming in the last 100 pages, 50 pages maybe, I feel like the peak was not really a peak. This is not a spoiler-free reading vlog, so I'm just gonna say it. I mean, for example, when Finnick died, he deserved so much more, and like his death was just so sudden. I could not really see it in front of me. In the movie I was way more devastated than I was here in the book, and even after that they didn't even address how his wife feels about it. He deserved more. They both deserved more. So I was a bit disappointed in that. Then I feel like there was really literally no connection. Like literally almost none between Peeta and Katniss. I mean, Katniss did like him, but she also liked Gale, and she was just annoying me. She couldn't figure out the feelings for him for 3 entire books. And even at the end, the last few pages where they are actually ending up together, I still didn't feel like she really loved him. I feel like he was just giving her something comfortable and a secure feeling. But I didn't know if she was actually loving him, you know, or if he was just of benefit to her. And I think that's a really big issue. Let me check, because the last thing he says, so after when he whispers, "You love me, real or not real?" I tell him, "Real." Yeah, she says she loves him, but like she cannot even tell him. Like he has to get it out of her, you know? That was not so satisfying, I don't know. That was already a bit of a struggle for me. When Prim died, it was a huge thing. Afterwards, the author didn't explain much about the explosion. Like it was just, oh yeah, the explosion. And then suddenly everything went dark. Give me something. Maybe if I would be younger, I would have enjoyed this even more, which I think I most likely would have. If I would be 14, 15, I think I would have soaked these up. Now I was expecting a bit more. I think that's the way to put it. So she killed President Coin, but that all happened so quickly, and it was like literally the last 20 pages. And I'm like, if you put events that are shifting the entire story in a way different direction, then at least put it on the last 100 pages and don't just start them going on a mission in the last 100 pages. I got bored. Okay, wow, that was a rant. I didn't mean for it to be a rant. So I think this is a 3.5 for me. I feel like that seems correct because I was just expecting way much more. I think it's safe to say that this entire series was a solid 4 stars for me. It is worth the hype, I understand, and as I said, I don't want to go into the politics. It does actually really make you think about things that are happening right now in our world, and the author really described a revolution pretty well. There were some very wise words in there, and I want this to be a channel that makes you feel positive and good. So if I just talk about everything that's going wrong in the world right now, I don't think that's appropriate. So this was just a cozy reading vlog. That's where I'm gonna end it with this. If you want to read it again or read it for the first time, I can recommend it to you because there are some thought-provoking things in there, and that's the reason why probably most people like it so much. I was just hoping for a bit more romance because that's just my personal preference. I just love romance in books, but that doesn't mean that this is a bad series. So I would say 4 stars. I enjoyed it, but was it my favorite? Not really. Maybe I would have liked it better if I would have just read it within 1 week or something, which I didn't. But maybe I would have liked it better then. That was it for today's video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read Hunger Games, and if so, please tell me how old you were when you read it for the first time, because I mean, I'm 21 now, so that's the first time reading the Hunger Games, but I feel like because they're already out for such a long time, I'm really curious how old you guys were when you read it for the first time and how you liked it, if you feel like they were worth the hype back then and still are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful and blissful day, and I'm gonna see you next week. Bye!